I'm about to build a router table of sorts for my Makita battery 18 volt cordless router. Before I do that, I'm going to have a look what's inside this thing. So I've got a beer and I've got a screwdriver, so let's get to it. What could possibly go wrong? Right, first of all, get rid of this thing. Now this is the DRT50 if you're in the southern hemisphere and certain Asian countries and certain parts of Europe, but you may have this tool if you're in North America, be an XTR01, and you can whack Z on the end of course because I haven't got a battery attached to it. Right, so it's a pretty small tool, as you can see. It's a brushless cordless router. This one I've been using for about 6 months. It's a good little tool. There's nothing wrong with it, but I thought I'd pull it apart and have a look what's inside it. So there's not a lot of screws on it, it's a small unit, so we've got 4 screws on the aluminium here attaching it to the plastic part of the tool, which is PA6GF30, so 30% glass fibre nylon basically. And we've got 2 screws in here. So we'll undo this aluminium bit first, I think, and then unscrew the clamp of the plastic base bit there. So you can use a Phillips screwdriver or old school flat slotted, whatever you want to call it. So Makita was the first company, I believe. I'm sure I'll be corrected down in the comments. Feel free to abuse me if I'm wrong. That's how YouTube works. First company to release a brushless power tool, which was an impact driver back in about 2009, I think. But they haven't really taken off in battery tools until the last sort of 3 or 4 years, I suppose. They sort of started with the drills and impact drivers. As with most technologies, the tool companies start with drills and impact drivers first because that's what they sell the most of course. So Makita makes just about everything with brushless tools now. Brushless motors, I should say. And the advantage of the brushless motor, if you don't already know, over a brushed one is, well, for starters, you don't have to change the brushes on it, and you also get a bit more power out of it because you don't have the friction of the brushes, you don't get the heat build up the same, and you don't get the sparks. Oh, she's tight. Don't want to damage this, but should be pretty hard. Let's have a go at this. Yep, she's moving. Don't think undoing those screws will help at the moment. So it's not catching. There we go. Oh, so she's plastic inside. It's not a full-on aluminium case. It is just an outer shell. It's still just a plastic tool bunged inside an aluminium one to maybe make it look a bit more solid than perhaps it is. So we've got a bearing in there. We're going to be able to read that. Have a look in a second. So yeah, pretty thin aluminium, very light. The weight's all in the tool. Quite a solid unit. Bit of dust has gotten into it. Like I say, I've been using this for about 6 months. Got it as soon as it came out. We've got another couple of screws hidden under the aluminium there. So I'll take that apart in a moment. First have a look at that bearing, which is well stuck in there. Where's my glasses? Right, so looking at the bearing, it is a 6003DW made by NSK, so it's a fairly good brand. Apart from, a bit hard to see there, it's, knock that out of there. How do I get that out? Shall I? And she's made in China, like everything. So 6003 is the same as a BB13036, which is like an alternator bearing. Has a 35mm outer diameter and a 17mm internal diameter, and it's about 10mm thick. Right, we'll leave that in there and we'll pull this apart now. So just 2 screws in the main part of the unit here, and then 2 screws pulling the clamshell apart, doof and doof. Let's have a look inside. It's not going to be a lot in here, of course, she's a very small tool. Alright, first thing I notice, a fair bit of dust's gotten in there. The end of the world. There's nothing to stop the dust getting in the top apart from this fan, which is designed by the looks scooping up the air and firing out the front to blow your work area clean and to try and keep dust out of the unit. But there is a fair bit of dust in there, not too bad. Alright, so there's your power buttons, which just push through onto tactile switches on the front there. With this unit you have a power switch, well, an unlock switch, sorry. So your unlock switch makes the tool safe to or ready to use. And these dirty LEDs, so it lights up these LEDs connected by a thin circuit board there. It's interesting. So wire coming up the side into the first LED, circuit board around to the second one. So they light up when you unlock the tool, and then when you push, so there's the unlock button, when you push the power tool, but the power button, she will start up. You only have a short period of time after pushing the unlock button to push the power button. I'm not sure what it is, 10-15 seconds after pushing that, you won't be able to start it, you'll have to unlock it again. So that's a safety feature, so if you chuck it in your toolbox and it bumps against the power button, it doesn't start up. It's got to hit that one first, then that one. If you turn it on and off in quick succession, you can just use the power button. Right, so Makita has about 4, I believe, brushless motors that they use in all their power tools. So this is a fairly big one. The smallest one that they use in sort of small drills and things is about 38mm. Then they have a 44mm one, a 52mm one, and then another one, I can't remember what it is, another bigger one for sort of outdoor tools and stuff. This one looks like the 52mm. So we can get all this out of the clamshell here. So there's your battery connection. Obviously, if you wonder what this little metal tang on the side is, you've got your positive and your negative ones here. This one here is for your sort of battery protection, overload protection, that sort of thing. And this one here is just to stop you. It's not attached to anything. If you have a look, it won't be connected to anything. It's just a glass screaming upstairs. That is not attached to anything. It is just to stop you from sliding in batteries. The old school first lithium-ion batteries. They didn't have the protection that they now have. The stuff up that Makita made, releasing batteries that all shit out. So you've got your battery terminal, and you've got the brains of the operation, which you're not going to be able to really see because it's all being potted in epoxy, buried underneath a layer of dust there. So all you can see sticking out, we've got one capacitor there. Let's just try and get all this out here. So it's a nice clamshell here, fits together well, no gaps. Nice and solid, glass fibre reinforced, like I said, nylon, standard. Most Makita tools and most decent brand power tools are PA6, GF30, sometimes they're PA66, 6.6, which is a bit stronger nylon, higher melting point. But most tools, yeah, 30, sometimes they're 15. I know my plane is only GF15. The glass fibre in there just helps them with abrasion and getting bashed about. So let's have a look at the inside. So not a lot to it. Battery terminal thing, got the star with the protection like I say. We got the board, which is all sealed up, so you can't see bugger all, unfortunately. And we've got this switch here is a PA66, this dial, sorry. So that's got the higher melting temperature. It's about 40 degrees Celsius higher melting temperature than the PA6, and it's only glass fiber 15. So this is a variable speed tool. Goes from 1 to 5, which is 15,000 RPM, I think, up to 30. 30? 25? 30. Oh, I can't remember. What does it say on the thing? 30,000. 10,000 to 30,000, there we go. And she's the 52mm motor. So she's the big one. She's got a lot of RPMs to go through, so she needs to be fairly solid there. Can't quite see the numbers on the bearing there, so I'm just going to pull this out. This should pop out, so the magnet's holding it, in theory. There we go. So in here we have some permanent magnets, and in this section of the motor you have electromagnets, as you can see with the windings there. Not epoxied, a little bit of shit on there holding them in, but not a lot. Instead of the commutator that you'd normally have on the end of here, sort of this area here sort of replaces that. You have sort of circuit boards and shit going on there, all sorts of fancy electronics turning magnets on and off and what have you. So let's have a look at this bearing. Oh, can I even read that? Maybe you can read it and tell it to me in the comments. It was made in Thailand by NMB. It's a 607 DSD72. I don't know what the DSD72 means, but that's 607 is a 7mm internal diameter and a 19 on the outside, I do believe. It's shielded. Not a bad little bearing. And so this is, I don't know if that's, yeah, I think it's nylon. It's forced on there. That's to provide air blowing out of the motor. Instead of in for cooling, it's blowing out to blow dust away from your work area and hopefully stop dust from going into the tool, but it obviously doesn't work entirely 100% for that, but it's hardly surprising. It's a lot of dust created by routers. So that's about it really. There's not a lot more to see on such a small tool. Can't take this apart any further, not without shagging something. So got some nice beefy wires coming from the battery terminals to the board and to the motor, and some tiny little buggers running everything else, going to your lights and the on-off switch. Now hopefully I can put it back together and go and make my router table. If I can't, well, you might not even see this video. Right, cheers for watching. It's quite fun pulling that apart. I might pull apart a few more tools. Makita tools, of course. Don't want to upset anybody. Sorry I did the Bosch tools, sorry. Okay, let's see if I can get this thing back together and make sure it works. The bottom bearing is just held in place. This little fella here is just held in place with the clamshell. There's no bushing or anything in there, which isn't the best. It's just hoping that the clamshell is perfect. If it's not, you're going to get a bit of wobble. That's not the best. On this top one here, you've got a bushing, and there's some sort of plastic, so that keeps it nice and tight. There's probably a spring ring under here too. I can get that out. Have a look. maybe I'll leave it. Not that important. Right, let's see if I can get this back together. Doesn't appear to be any sort of indexing marks to know where the motor's meant to go. Fits in nice and snugly though, or does it? Oh, I see those. You got a plastic tang on each side which goes over the little flats on the side of the motor. And this bugger, just got to go up the side and back in here. If you pull a tool apart, you can make sure you don't pinch any of the wires when you put it back together. It can so easily happen. Often when you pull them apart, they're actually pinched right from the factory, which is doubly annoying. So there's a small cutout here so that you can't get it in the wrong way. Right, I think everything's in place. Wires are all out of tweaking range. Slide this back in. Look at that, pop back together, no problem. Good, I didn't stuff it up. Better put it back together and make sure it works. Oh no! What's snuck into the video? Ye old Bosch. The evil Bosch. Screws are all the same, so that's handy. Nothing more annoying than tools that come with about 4 different bloody screw sizes and you can't remember which ones come out of where. Choose your tight fit this bit. Where's your hammer? Okay, let's put this on. It's very tight. Tight as a nun's, as they say. I wouldn't say such a thing, this is a family show. Crack the aluminium. That's close enough. Can't get in there on that angle with the bloody Bosch. I'm sure the Makita would have done it. The moment of truth. Unlock. Lights come on. Yay! Haven't broken those. And variable speed still works. Right, well, that was a success. I didn't stuff it. I've had a look inside, quenched my curiosity. If you want to know more about this particular tool, I have a review of this Makita cordless router on my channel. I'll put a link at the end on the side, one of these sides, and in the description down there. I might even put it in the comments. So, thanks for watching. If you want me to see inside any other Makita tools, you know what tools I've got by now, so put a comment below and maybe I will capitulate. Okay, thanks for watching guys, see you on the next one.